Hello and welcome to my research report presentation. I am very excited to show you what I have found related to video game addiction. Without further ado, let us begin. Here are the topics of interest that I will discuss from here on out. The aspects of addiction and the internet, video game addiction and its correlation to drug addiction, video game addiction and death, and the diagnosis and treatment methods available. Let's jump into these immediately. Aspects of addiction. What is interesting about video games and the internet is the aspects that make them possibly addictive. In this highly developing world that is further integrating with technology, there's little doubt that the ease of access to the internet and internet-related activities such as video games will only increase. This ease of access has led people to greater and greater dependencies of the internet to fulfill their desires. Another large factor is the unique immersion the internet draws towards users. This deep dive that millions are adventuring to on the daily can be attributed in part to the endorphins people receive while online. And lastly, gambling in video games have been a hotly debated problem, especially when video game companies add specific monetization techniques that can blatantly be considered gambling, such as loot boxes in most first-person shooters that have terrible success chances. Next was the comparison of video game addiction to drug addiction. MRI scans from California State University shows the impulse reward system of the brain, also known as the amygdala striatal system, became more sensitive and smaller in people that excessively game. This is a result of the body trying to process the stimuli of the games at a faster pace than usual. Most doctors believe that sensitizing the reward system of the brain with video games can very likely increase the odds of addiction to drugs in later life. Both drugs and video games function off the reward system of the brain. However, drugs can have a permanent, direct impact on the brain's chemistry, whereas video games have a much weaker toned effect. Next, comparison of video games and death. Video games aim to build healthy social environments to enjoy leisure time. However, some people have brought video games to whole new levels in which people have lost their lives. In Thailand specifically, 17-year-old Piyawat Harikun, a young Air Force officer turned marathon gamer, died shortly after his father's recommendation and promise from the boy to reduce the hours of playtime. Another issue when involved video games and death is the overuse and overconsumption of energy drinks and tobacco inside PC cafes in Asia. Taiwan specifically has deep issues of it, as it's a very, very humid nation. This combination of humidity, energy drinks, and tobacco smoke can be lethal and has caused incidents such as blood clots while gaming. To further continue, in South Korea, a couple has been charged and arrested after leaving their 3-month-old daughter alone with just to devote their time to raising an artificial daughter in a game called Prius Online at an internet cafe. The baby unfortunately died due to malnourishment after a 12-hour gaming session, and according to The Guardian, the baby's malnourished body, as I quote, arose suspicion of neglect that was confirmed after an autopsy. The couple fled to the wife's parents' house. They were soon captured by police. Incidentally, another case in South Korea occurred when a 22-year-old man coming back from a PC cafe decided to attack and kill his own mother after she started nagging him about his video gaming habits. After killing his mother, the man felt it was necessary to return to the cafe to continue his video gaming routine, as if nothing had ever happened. Truly, video games are meant for enjoyment. However, some have gone too far with addictions resulting in the unwanted death of a son, serious mental conditions, and the death of an infant from neglect and even murder. Next, diagnoses and treatment. Next is the diagnosis and treatment. This is a very important part of building methods to cope with video game related addictions, as they are very limited and have been shown to be ineffective. The system known as the Revised Chen Internet Addiction Scale, also known as the CIASR, was created by a psychology professor at the National Taiwan University in Taipei during the early 2000s. This system is used to diagnose and gauge the extent of gaming internet addictions. With 26 questions answered on a scale of 1 to 4, with a score of over 64 or higher indicating addiction or dependency, this has led to hundreds upon thousands of people figuring out and assessing their disorder associated with video games. Abstinence of video games has also proven to be ineffective in comparison to more controlled manners, where people assess to go through 12-step therapy programs like in Online Gamers Anonymous and Computer Gaming Addicts Anonymous. And lastly, the World Health Organization officially recognized gaming addiction as a mental illness in June of 2018. According to the WHO, 3% of 160 million Americans, adults who play online video games, will be addicted, whereas in China and South Korea, 24 million people between the ages of 13 to 29 are currently and already addicted. Health officials in these areas have very recently acknowledged the problem and have funded millions of dollars into treatment centers and awareness campaigns. And that is it. Thank you for partaking in my research report presentation on video games and addiction. I hope you all have learned a lot, for I sure have. Thank you very much.